Welcome to Classic Recaps. Join us as we review a fantasy action film called Journey to the West, Conquering the Demons. Once upon a time, in a quaint fishing village in China, a young girl played by the lakeside while her father prepared for a day of fishing. Noticing his daughter's sadness at his departure, he waded into the water and engaged in playful antics, transforming her tears into laughter. Suddenly, the father began to thrash wildly in the water, pulled beneath the surface by an unseen force. The girl continued to giggle, oblivious to the danger her father faced, until he vanished in a pool of blood. Alarmed, the villagers enlisted the help of a demon hunter who proceeded to chant and toss explosives into the lake, resulting in a massive eruption of water. A colossal stingray was captured, and the hunter declared that a demon had possessed the creature, responsible for the earlier tragedy. The villagers were relieved, but a voice in the crowd disputed the hunter's claim, stating that the stingray was not a demon, but an ordinary fish. The dissenting voice belonged to Tang, a fellow demon hunter and apprentice to a monk. The other demon hunter quickly accused Tang of colluding with the demon, leading the villagers to lash out against him and tie him up as punishment. Believing the danger had passed, the villagers leaped back into the water while Tang watched helplessly. The village's festivities were cut short when a monstrous creature devoured a woman, leaving the onlookers in shock. The villagers scrambled to the shore, assuming they would be safe on land. However, they were soon proven wrong as the beast snatched villagers with its long, sinuous tongue. The young girl from earlier attempts to run to her mother, but the creature seizes the opportunity and snatches her, attempting to drag her into the water. The villagers rush to aid the child, cutting the monster's tongue and catching her at the edge of a bridge. However, the creature leaps up and swallows the girl. Enraged, the mother plunges into the lake, desperate to rescue her daughter, while Tang uses his teeth to gnaw through the ropes binding him. Frozen in terror, the mother faces the enormous monster as it emerges from the water, its eyes burning with fury. She pleads for her daughter's return, but the demon devours her as well. The monster's rampage causes nearby buildings to crumble, and the villagers lose their footing. Amid the chaos, a baby slides towards the lake, separated from its mother. Fortuitously, Tang frees himself in time and leaps onto a platform near the baby, redirecting its slide towards him. He snatches the infant just as the giant creature lunges at him. Tang narrowly evades its grasp and traps the monster on the platform, using its weight to propel himself towards the villagers. He returns the baby to its mother only to find the fraudulent demon hunter cowering in fear. A colossal girl bursts from the crowd, her every step causing tremors. She leaps on the platform, catapulting the creature into the air and crushing the fake demon hunter as it lands. The creature gradually transforms back into a seemingly harmless young man. A villager attempts to kill the demon, but Tang intervenes, suggesting a more compassionate approach. Tang produces a collection of instruments and a book titled 300 Nursery Rhymes, intending to use his musical prowess to transform the monster from malevolent to benevolent. He sings terribly, bewildering both the demon and the spectators. His abysmal performance drives the creature to the brink of insanity, causing it to violently assault Tang and wreak havoc on the surroundings. Just before Tang meets his end, a woman named Duan intervenes, overpowering the demon, sealing it within a magical cloth and turning it into a doll. She, too, is a demon hunter. When Tang reveals his methods to subdue the monsters, Duan laughs at him uncontrollably, while the villagers hail her as their true savior. Disappointed by his failure, Tang is reminded by his master that transforming evil into good is no easy feat. His master informs him of another demon residing in a nearby restaurant where it uses human flesh as ingredients. Tang arrives at the restaurant at night and enters the bustling establishment. He is greeted by a woman who offers to show him around, but he instantly sees through her illusions and demands she reveal her true form. The demon lunges at Tang, who flees in terror, but Duan appears just in time to pummel the creature into dust. Duan vanquishes the other demons in the restaurant using her powerful rings. She calls out for the boss to face her, and as a young man stealthily approaches her from behind, Duane quickly counters and engages him in a fierce battle. Gaining the upper hand, she flings the man across the room and unleashes a barrage of rings targeting his face. The relentless assault eventually exposes a pig-like snout beneath his skin. The demon defends Duane's attacks using the rings and closes in on her. The demon pig ferociously attacks Duane, who is forced to defend herself. Despite her efforts, the creature manages to wound her before she narrowly escapes. Duane leaps behind the monster and kicks it, compelling it to reveal its true form as a demonic pig. She immobilizes the creature's arms and calls for Tang's assistance. Duane has trapped the demon's essence within its throat and needs Tang to extract it. Tang struggles to muster the courage for this gruesome task, especially when confronted with the pig's repulsive face. In a stroke of luck, he stumbles and inadvertently kisses the pig, drawing the demon into his mouth. Duane quickly retrieves the essence from Tang and places it into her sealing bag. However, the demon proves too powerful to be contained and swells in size, eventually breaking free and revealing its monstrous form. Tang and Duane flee as the building collapses around them, narrowly escaping the demon and arriving at a lake. Weakened by her injuries, Duane collapses and inadvertently exposes her feminine charms to Tang. She instructs him to apply pressure to her wounds to stem the bleeding, which Tang does, albeit clumsily. As Duane leans in for a kiss, Tang suddenly recalls his status as a monk and hastily retreats from her embrace. The following day, Tang returns to his master, disheartened by his repeated failures. His master advises him to seek the aid of Wukong, the king of all demons, who was imprisoned under a massive mountain by the gods 500 years ago for wreaking havoc in the heavens. That night, as Tang journeys through the forest, he falls into a trap set by a group of seemingly hostile individuals. It turns out they all work for Duane, who is determined to force Tang into marriage. Tang resists, citing his monastic vows, which forbid him from having romantic feelings for anyone. Furious, Duane imprisons Tang while she contemplates her next move. Duane's sister suggests she use her feminine charms and dance skills to seduce Tang, but after witnessing Duane's frightening dance moves, she decides to use a talisman to control Duane's movements during the seduction. The plan quickly goes awry when the charm malfunctions, causing Duane to inadvertently assault Tang until the talisman attaches itself to him. Duane flees the room in guilt, while Tang mimics the sisters dancing in front of the guards who have rushed in. The guards proceed to beat Tang until the sister intervenes, realizing something has gone wrong. Their antics are interrupted by the arrival of the pig demon, and the group hastily boards their vehicle to escape. Despite their efforts, the demon catches up and charges at them. Duane pushes Tang off the vehicle just before the demon collides with it, shattering it to pieces. Miraculously, no one is injured in the crash, but the group finds themselves cornered by the demon, which seeks revenge on their leader for their earlier confrontation. Suddenly, a man with the aura of a tiger charges at the monster and quickly gains the upper hand, tossing the creature into the air and delivering a powerful kick that forces the demon to flee. The man, another demon hunter, is accompanied by the mighty Foot, Prince Important, and his 4 beautiful nannies who constantly scatter flowers. However, his servants struggle to follow orders and repeatedly embarrass him by addressing him as Prince Important. The 3 hunters begin to compete for the right to vanquish the pig demon, which infuriates Tang. He accuses them of being motivated by greed and vanity rather than genuine demon hunting convictions. Tang demands that Duane return the nursery rhymes book she took from him and berates her for wasting his time. This enrages Duane, who tears the book to shreds and throws it into the air. She lashes out at Tang, claiming he would have been killed long ago without her help. Tang silently watches as Duane attempts to flirt with the prince to make him jealous, then turns and walks away, leaving her looking on with sorrow. After a lengthy journey across the country, Tang finally arrives at a mountain covered in lily pads despite the lack of water. Tang notices a large lily flower growing through an opening and decides to jump in, only to encounter a peculiar man who embraces and kisses him repeatedly. Tang deduces that this must be Wukong and seeks his help in defeating the pig demon. However, Wukong is more concerned with escaping his confinement and attempts to deceive Tang into removing the seal, insisting that it can capture the monster. Tang doesn't fall for Wukong's ruse, which leads Wukong to try to escape in frustration. However, the roots in the cave trap him and punish him for his disobedience. Tang takes pity on Wukong and offers him a banana, which mellows the demon's attitude. Wukong then reveals how to defeat the pig demon. Since the pig demon deeply loved his wife, they must have a beautiful woman dance under the moonlight to lure the monster to the cave, where Wukong can trap it. Unexpectedly, Duan enters the cave after hearing their plan and volunteers to be the bait for the pig demon. Tang tells her to leave, but Wukong starts flirting with her while teaching her how to dance. It becomes apparent that Tang does have feelings for Duan, as he struggles with jealousy upon witnessing their affectionate interaction. At night, Duan dances under the moonlight while Tang plays music for her. As he watches her, he finds himself falling deeper in love with each movement she makes. Suddenly, they hear a monstrous roar and realize the pig demon has arrived. Wukong converses with the creature from inside the cave, leading the monster to peek under the lilies, only to be entirely sucked in by the god's ceiling. Duan transforms the pig demon into a doll and gives it to Tang, granting him control over the fates of the captured demons. She places a ring on his finger, claiming it's permanent, as she intends to marry him. However, Tang becomes upset, preferring to cut off his own finger rather than be in a relationship with her. Seeing this, Duan removes the ring herself and tries to return the repaired nursery rhyme book, but Tang angrily refuses it. Duan, in tears, promises not to follow him anymore and leaves. Tang exits the cave and gazes at the moon, feeling the pain of his true emotions. He hears Wukong asking for a favor, to remove the lily flower blocking the entrance so he can enjoy the moonlight. Tang cuts the flower, but quickly realizes something is wrong when all the lilies burst into flames. Wukong cackles maniacally inside the cave before finally breaking free in a ball of fire, landing right in front of Tang. He grabs Tang and tosses him aside like a ragdoll before catching him again under the mountain, taunting him for being so easily deceived into releasing the Demon King. Unfazed, Tang tells Wukong that he hasn't truly escaped, as the Buddha is watching everything even at that very moment. Enraged, Wukong starts violently tearing off Tang's hair, eventually leaving nothing behind. However, he is furious to see that Tang's belief remains unshaken. Suddenly, Wukong senses a presence and sees the 3 demon hunters have arrived. The fist of the North Star prepares to attack the Demon King, but Wukong lunges forward, quickly killing the man by biting down on the hunter's throat. Witnessing this, the mighty foot transforms, growing a giant leg the size of a school bus, and kicks the monkey demon with immense force, knocking him backward. The old man leaps into the air and stomps at Wukong, but the Monkey King pierces right through his feet, kicking the hunter into the air and landing him on top of the prince. The prince tells the nannies to throw the old man away and begins throwing numerous swords at the demon. Wukong is forced to flee into the air as the weapons persistently follow and attack him. The demon takes out his weapon and starts knocking the swords away, but the prince combines all the weapons into one and sends it flying toward the monkey. The attack is so powerful that it starts breaking apart the demon's staff, but eventually hits a wall when it touches Wukong and shatters into pieces. Wukong roars furiously at the attackers, creating a shockwave that turns the demon hunters to dust. He then turns his attention toward Tang, but surprisingly, Duan jumps out and begins defending the man, even after what he said to her earlier. The woman begins attacking Wukong using her rings, but the weapons all shatter into pieces after hitting the Demon King. She charges towards the monkey, but Wukong easily stops her by striking her head and sends her flying backward. Tang crawls towards the woman, and Duan whispers to him, asking if he ever loved her. The monk begins crying helplessly and tells Duan that he always loved her, ever since the first time they met. Hearing Tang's confession, Duan finally dies with tears in her eyes. while Tang holds her and kisses her, taking her ring and putting it on his finger. Before the man can finish mourning, Wukong takes the girl's body and throws it in the air, blasting it into a million pieces. Suddenly, the demon feels something wrong and retreats immediately, only to see that Tang has finally let go of all mortal attachments. The monk begins reading the book that Duan put together and chanting the words inside, creating a massive Buddha that overlooks the entire planet. The giant statue begins pushing its palm towards the planet, creating a massive shockwave as it enters the atmosphere and lighting its hand on fire. Wukong sees this and refuses to give up, gathering all his energy onto his body and quickly transforming into King Kong, towering over everything while screaming furiously. The giant palm approaches closer and closer towards the demon, and Wukong tries to lift the Buddha at the last moment, managing to stop the attack as he struggles under the immense weight. However, the demon is no match for the god's power and gets crushed underneath the massive hand. Wukong is brought into a different dimension, where Tang has finally conquered the demon. He proceeds to take off Duan's ring and binds it onto the monkey's head, making the demon his new disciple. Tang's master says he's ready for the journey west to obtain holy scriptures from India. Alongside his demons-turned disciples, they'll face trials and tribulations to bring peace and enlightenment to the world. What do you guys think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like my videos, please like and subscribe for more. Until next time, take care.